Welcome to the MiningNewsWire Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's MiningNewsWire Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to another exciting show here with me, Carmel Fisher, where we bring you all the pieces of wisdom and bits of information to help you do your due diligence in the markets out there. With me today, I have President of Silvercorp Metals Inc, Mr. Lon Shaver. They are also listed on TSX and NYSE with the ticker SVM. Lon, welcome.
Thanks, Carmel. It's great to be here today.
What does the company do? What's your main focus? And then we're excited to dive straight into a little bit of a deeper inspection of the company, etc. So just as a start, what is Silver Metals Corp? What do you get up to?
Well, we are I'd say we're a growth company that's in transition right now. We have an almost 20-year track record of profitable operations from mines that we've built up and grown in terms of production to approximately 7 million ounces of silver a year. They've been profitable. It's generated free cash flow, and that's allowed us to build a cash balance to go out and to pursue other opportunities. And last year we bought another public company that brought us to Ecuador. And so in addition to our mines in China, now we have a mine that we're building in Ecuador and another development project that we're advancing.
Awesome. So Lon, with silver prices showing strength and Silvercorp producing nearly 2 million ounces of silver equivalent in Q4, how is the company positioned to capitalize on this momentum?
Well, as with silver representing approximately 60% of our revenues, as silver prices go higher, our revenues are obviously going to go up based on our growing production rate. But the other thing that's been great about that is because of our high margins, we've been able to deliver those increased silver revenues and have them flow through to the bottom line. And so we've been reporting a higher net income, but also more importantly, cash flow and free cash flow.
Awesome. So given your all-in sustaining costs of $12.12 per ounce for fiscal versus current market prices, what's your outlook on margin expansion? And can you speak to your cost discipline at the Chinese operations?
Well, our cost discipline comes from almost 20 years of operation, and getting to know those mines and looking at programs that we've implemented to manage costs. So with current prices at around $36 per ounce of silver, and as you mentioned, $12.12 being the cost for our fiscal year that just ended in March, that's a pretty healthy margin, and that speaks to those earnings and cash flows that I mentioned previously. With our production rate also growing over time, we're looking to bring that up meaningfully in the next few years due to some investments we're making at those mines. We should continue to deliver healthy earnings and cash flow.
So the El Domo project, the copper gold project, this represents a significant diversification play with 25 million pounds of annual copper production expected. With $3.1 million already invested in Q4 and advanced engineering underway, can you walk us through the key execution milestones for 2025 and possibly beyond?
Yeah, so far this year in 2025, we've been focused on early construction activities, laying out the road access, preparing areas for the camp facility to go in, and doing detailed engineering work to advance different elements of the project. We've signed one major contract that we did late last year, which is what allowed us to begin the work in January. And we look to sign a couple other contracts and really start more significant activities later this summer, likely in August. And that will take us into a fairly rapid, build cycle as we're looking to complete this mine and the mill and all the infrastructure by the end of calendar 2026.
And then looking at a balancing act that is so critical for a lot of companies, in the capital markets, how do you balance the substantial capital requirements for Eldomo with maintaining your dividend policy and the existing Chinese operations?
Well, I think it's important to note the Chinese operations are self-funded, fully sustainable for all their growth programs, and in effect are delivering excess free cash flow to the company to invest in other projects and to pay the dividend. The roughly 240 million in capital estimated for Eldomo. Of that, 175 of that will be funded by Wheaton. There's a stream arrangement in place that was put in by the company that we bought. And so they're going to be contributing 175 million out of that 240. So the balance was 75 million, and we can easily fund that out of cash on hand. So that will allow us to continue to look at new targets for growth, as well as pay our dividend, which arguably is a bit symbolic at present, and given the share price and our cash balance, but it's really meant to show that good times and bad in the silver market, we intend to give our shareholders a return on their investment.
Wonderful. Looking now with a bit of taking a deeper look into the cash flow generation and the shareholder returns, we've touched on that, but Silvercorp generated $30.7 million in operating cash in Q4, while maintaining a semi-annual dividend, as we mentioned, the symbolic dividend, with $369.1 million in cash and equivalents. How do you view the optimal balance between growth investment, dividend sustainability, potential share buybacks? If you can just elaborate more on that.
Well, yeah, at the outset, I said that we're a growth company in transition. We've closed on that acquisition last year, which has taken us to Ecuador, but we remain very active looking at other opportunities to grow the company and look to add more assets. And so for that reason, is why we've built up and are carrying that cash balance. So that's really been the focus, which is to have that funding to allow us to act quickly if we see something that we like, both in terms of acquiring and then moving ahead to build another project. Because we really like to deliver for our shareholders to be a multi-asset, multi-jurisdiction company within a couple of years here.
Multi-asset, and also looking at the 2025 fiscal results showing strong production across multiple metals, so multi-metals here as well. But mining operations face ongoing inflationary pressures. Can you discuss how Silvercorp is managing cost inflation, particularly again with the Chinese operations, and what operational initiatives are in place to maintain your competitive cost structure?
Well, I think the key thing is having a management team that is experienced, that's seen up and down markets, and where we can see there's some cost appreciation. Are there other things that we can do to transition the asset or take on other measures? And so, for example, at Ying, we've done a very good job at managing costs, and going forward, we've looked at changing some of the mining methods to reduce the labor intensity going forward. And so that's one way that we can see some cost reductions by using a bit more equipment. And given that China is a very competitive market, we can access equipment at a very good price, get very good equipment at reasonable pricing. We've had experience with that in a recent project that we expanded our mill, and that was done at a very good cost. We're going to bring that access to low-cost equipment into the capital budgets for Eldomo in Ecuador. And so those are some of the things that, having an experienced management team that is able to look at all facets of the operation and identify areas where costs may be going up and seeing where we can offset those costs somewhere else.
Great. Looking ahead, Silvercorp is transitioning from pure play silver dominant company to a more diversified precious and base metals producer, as you've touched on previously. But what's your vision for the company's portfolio evolution over the, say, next 3 to 5 years?
Well, we certainly like silver. We'd love to grow in silver. As shown in the marketplace, that's not necessarily easy. There's not a lot of great silver assets out there. We do think we have one in a company that we're majority shareholder in that's got 2 great silver development projects in Bolivia. So we'll continue to look for silver, but we've also shown the market that we're open to gold assets, and obviously with the move into Ecuador with El Domo copper. So I'd say focus on precious metals, but potentially copper, and ideally if there's a byproduct component to it, like we have in China right now with silver being the dominant revenue source, but then byproduct gold, lead, and then zinc.
What are some of your key differentiators? Obviously it's an increasingly competitive mining landscape. What sets Silvercorp apart, and how do you maintain that differentiator?
Well, I think in addition to being a good operator and a consistent operator with a long track record, we've shown that we've been able to build mines and operating facilities. And, we've done that in China. Now we're transitioning that to Ecuador. On top of that, I think we've shown through our M&A efforts really a good nose for surfacing value. We've seen a number of targets that we thought were good acquisition targets. We didn't always get them because we didn't chase them and overpay for them. But I think we've done a good job at finding good opportunities and trying to bring them into the company for our shareholders. And, we'll continue to do that going forward.
Awesome. Thank you. This has been really revelatory for us, and I'm sure our audience would find this extremely useful. Lon Shaver, it's been fantastic having this conversation with you. Again, I've been chatting with the president of Silvercorp Metals Inc., Mr. Lon Shaver. They are listed on TSX and the New York Stock Exchange with the ticker SVM. I'm Carmel Fisher. You guys stay tuned for more.
The MiningNewsWire podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.